Alrighty, here I am, fresh-faced and bushy-tailed. I've already done my eyebrows, as you can see, with some Anastasia Beverly Hills or Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow. Already got them done. So I'm going to go ahead and just lock them in here. I don't remember what the exact term is, but I'm going to go around them with some concealer. I have my my Tarte Shape Tape concealer, which I will show you in just a moment. And I'm using a chisel brush that came with my BoxyCharm. I don't believe that I had a brand name written on it. I think it's actually just the BoxyCharm one that they came out with, whatever their brand is. Which you'll get to see a good look at that. And I use that for all my concealer needs throughout this video. I really like it. Works well. See? Got the Shape Tape out. Also, I make so many faces during this video, and because it is my first video, I do apologize. I do block my face a few times with the mirror there. I do apologize. I just need to become a little bit more aware of the camera, which I do the more the video goes on, and the majority of the video is decent, and you can see it, but I do apologize. The next video I put out, I will make sure to not do that again. And again, sorry for the camera. The majority of the time it stays focused, but this is probably the longest it'll stay unfocused for the entire video. So what I'm doing is just going around the perimeter of my filled in eyebrows. I've already used the dip brow on them. And I'm just going around the edges and creating a clean barrier there and a clean perimeter, so to speak. And I do rush a little bit through the right eye, and then I will kind of slow down and show you the better way to do it on my left eye. Oop. Me and my tongue. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Jam into that Hey Arnold. I don't care who the fuck you are. Hey Arnold slaps. All the music in that show, man. All the music. So the majority of my right eyebrow, you kind of don't get to see the process because I'm an imbecile and I block my face. But I will definitely be showing you the proper way. Again, and also this hairband that I was wearing was not doing the trick. So I kept tilting my head further back, and I do fix that. So as you can see, right when I'm sitting a little closer, it's better that you see it on the eye that's finished right now than the second one. Of course, ceiling. Okay, that's a lot of cutout. This is where I'll cut back in. There we go. Now we got a better angle here. So I allow that concealer to go all the way down and onto my eyelid. I kind of use it like a eyeshadow primer as well, because it works quite well, and it just creates for a smoother look there between the eyeshadow and the eyebrow. Now we're just going around it with a beauty blender. Brows. Oh, that's time number 2 with the tongue, I think. Maybe 3. Oh, more faces. Now you can kind of see it on that left eyebrow a little better. I mean, it's my right eyebrow, but it looks like left on the screen. The one that's already finished. I go back through vertically with that concealer brush and just add a few lines on the front of my eyebrow to create more of a feather appearance. You don't sadly get to see the process of that at all at any point because it gets blocked again at one point, but I do that, and it just gives it a bit of a more natural appearance instead of having that painted on, almost like the rockabilly kind of 1930s shave them off and paint them on look. I prefer to have a more natural hair-like appearance. Make sure when you're going underneath that eyebrow there to just make sure and take your time and do it slowly so you don't ruin all that work you put in filling them in. So again, we're going around the perimeter of the eyebrow with some concealer. This is about a shade lighter than my natural skin tone, which I prefer for all of my concealer shades. Just for every use, really. I don't mind it being a bit lighter. Seems to look nice with my skin tone. So, go around those edges nice and slow, creating even lines. And then when I get to the corners, at first I'll box them off, and you'll see the process. I make them a bit softer, you'll see in just a moment here. Alright, here it is. So here, I'm about to box them off right here. There we go. So there it is, and now it's about to be boxed off now. And then I go back through, and I kind of just soften the corners of them so they're a little bit more of a natural shape and less of a painted on boxy shape. There we go. And again, like I explained with my right eye, I always go back through vertically, right like I am right now, with the brush, with a few swipes to create a more feathered, natural appearance in the front of the brow. I like it a lot more. As you can see here, it's a little bit softer, a little bit more subtle, and definitely a lot more natural. Again, being very careful to go underneath, using short vertical strokes for the front of my brow, and then smooth, even, long strokes for the second half there, going underneath to keep the shape. Sometimes I blend it a bit with my finger. It just creates a more natural look again. Sorry about that focus issue there. So again, see how I'm using short strokes? There we go. And then long strokes there. There we go. That's how I seem to think it's easiest without smearing the concealer into the already filled brow. And again, back down the eyelid, much like a primer. Now I just underline that brow nice and prominently, and then I also go through like I'm doing right this second and just give it a few more gentle hair-like strokes vertically, just for that natural appearance, like I said before. And then, of course, with the concealer, I just go back through with that beauty blender around the brow and down my eyelid. Oh, it's blaspheme. Oh. Shouldn't be using Fiji water for a beauty blender. Brows. Yeah. Doing with my lip ring there. Forgot I did that. Go back through with that spoolie. Just pull out any chunks of product and just blend it in a little bit, make it look more natural. Unless you're into that painted look, I mean, sure. Sometimes I use the tip of the spoolie to really get in on those clumpy areas. Seems to work best. I always try and make sure to coat those little fine hairs at the very corner of my brow as much as possible, because it just helps create that most natural appearance with those vertical lines we added in with the concealer there. Just looks more feathered and gentle. It makes the natural brows less distinguishable from the fill-in. And I just go over it with the NYX setting gel, or a brow mascara, actually, not setting gel, I'm sorry, the brow mascara. But I call it brow mascara because it's fun. And I believe that's just in there, like a warm brown shade or chocolate brown. I don't remember exactly what it was. It's kind of an older tube, so the writing has come off of it. But again, then I just go back through with the Anastasia Beverly Hills, or the Anastasia Beverly Hills. I don't know how it's pronounced, man. I go back in with that dip brow, and I use my Cella Beauty. Actually, it's another type of dip brow, but I really love the brush that it came with. It's a dual-ended wand, and comes with the brush on the one side with a cap that goes over it, and then another like a brow wax, like a dip brow of Cella Beauty's brand, and it's a different texture than the Anastasia, but it works lovely. It's just so happens that it's just not, it's a little bit too warm for my tone, but I really love that brush that it came with, because it really does create those nice skinny little tiny fine lines for brows. And just make sure to pull all those clumps out that get stuck, and any buildup of product, anything that looks too dark, anything too blocky. Nice brows or soft brows. Gentle brows, especially for this look. This is more of a baby doll look, so you don't want them to be like 1930s, you know, Laura Prepon brows. You want them to be a little bit more gentle for this look, a little more natural, a little more youthful. Just flash you that NYX brow mascara, so you're familiar with the packaging as well. Dorito break! It's always the right time for Doritos. Oh, I love this product. This is the Becca Backlight Filter Priming Liquid. It is absolutely wonderful. I use this product for so many different things. I wear it by itself. On days where I don't feel like contouring and highlighting, I just put on a little bit of this. You can wear it underneath your makeup like I'm about to do in this look, and it's just absolutely beautiful. It enhances the entire look. It really just brightens up the whole thing and makes your face glow. I love this product so much. I got it in my BoxyCharm, and I stand by it. I don't know the retail value necessarily, because I got it in BoxyCharm and I don't really pay attention to that. But I'll try and do a little bit better for you guys on my next tutorials on paying attention to the retail values. But I just apply this in this look on all of the spots where I would normally highlight. So, you know, when you think about it logically, all the places you highlight are all the places where your, you know, light would hit your face. So on the high points of your cheekbones, your nose bone, tip of your nose, center of the forehead between the eyebrows, you know, and the upper lip and the chin. You know, it's not hard when you think about it. Just think about all the natural areas where your face is light and dark, and it's pretty simple for you. Oh, I just love that stuff so much. I can even tell that I'm feeling myself. Look at that. I just love that liquid. It's so beautiful. Such a fantastic product. Becca Backlight Primer. Burrito. Now this is me going back through with my foundation now. I use a Tarte Rainforest of the Sea water foundation in Fair Neutral. Anybody that's walked into Sephora has definitely seen this brand of foundation. I love it. It's very hydrating foundation, and it makes your skin look nice and dewy and beautiful, and I haven't found a foundation I like better yet. Foundation monster! And then, of course, just go back through with your beauty blender, tap, tap, tap all over the face. And so you get a nice even finish. And you can really see all those areas where you put that primer really just pop. You can see it. It's so lovely. Love that stuff. You can see it underneath the foundation. It's so beautiful. Just love products like that. Make sure you blend all the way out to your hairline, the edges of your face. A lot of women go down their chin onto their neck as well. I don't in this video because of the time of night it is. I'm just putting it on to have fun. Make sure you have it all evenly blended so you don't have a different color neck than your face, etc., etc. Now there, I just go through and I wipe off the makeup that sits on top of my birthmark, just because I like to include my freckles and my birthmark in my look. I don't think they need to be covered and they're part of my face, so I don't know, I just think that that's how makeup should be, you know? Used to bring out what's there and don't have to cover anything up necessarily. It's not there for a mask. I look at my skin like my canvas and my makeup like my paint. It's just there to create something else beautiful, and it's fun for me. I think that a lot of women, they're afraid to not wear makeup, and I think that I used to suffer from that a lot, and I think that makeup should be something that we take joy in. We shouldn't feel obligated, and if it becomes an obligation, then don't do it. So now I'm going through with my Tarteist Pro Glow contouring palette. And I'm going in with a regular like concealer brush and the color Shade. It's the darkest shade in the palette, and it's called Shade, like the shadow, you know, thing. And I love this stuff. It is my favorite liquid contour. I love the way it blends. I've never been able to find anything else that blends quite like this. It reminds me of, like, honestly, it feels like the texture of like the velvetiest melted chocolate like ever. It's beautiful. It's like it's like chocolate ganache for your face that blends perfectly in. Like, I just love this product so much. Big fan of this contour palette a lot. It just seems perfect for my skin tone. And if you over contour or over highlight, it's not a big deal. You can fix it with, you know, whatever step is next, or go back through with your contour or your highlight again. It's not a big deal. So again, if you've never contoured or highlighted, you can kind of follow my face right now as a map before I blend. It's not very difficult. So I go beneath the cheekbones, just underneath the cheekbones, where you're the lowest, basically all the lowest points of your face, on the sides of your nose. I like to contour my nose. I like it because it just kind of accentuates like the cute little button shape. And so in order to get this shape, you can kind of follow how I'm doing my nose. And I go around the tip there, on the sides, and on the crease of my nose there, as you can see. I kind of like make a little circle around my nose. And then I darken up the sides. And I find it just accentuates the cute little button nose style look. Some people only do the tip of their nose, some people only do the sides of their nose. It all just kind of depends on what shape of nose you have. Feel free to modify this in any way that matches your face better. And then go around the perimeter of your face, you know, at all the low points where your forehead naturally starts to curve back, where your temples are, you know, where it starts to dip in a little bit, and underneath your chin, so you have a nice defined jaw. And then I do just a little tiny bit right on the tip of my chin there. Right on my, you'll see in just a second. It kind of makes it look like you have like a little dimple on your chin, and I like that look. And it looks nice and natural once it's all blended, so you can see here. Jawbone here. Now make sure when you reach the back by the ear part there, you make sure to blend all the way back. It's really easy to forget. I forget all the time. As you can see, in just a moment in this video, you'll see I did forget to blend all the way back, but I did go back and fix that later. So make sure you don't make my mistake, you know, the same mistake I made, and make sure to blend. I use that same beauty blender just because I don't know what happened to my other one, but a lot of times I use a separate beauty blender for my light shades than my dark shades, just so that way it's easier to keep clean and keep the pigments separate. Underneath that jawline, see, that's where I missed it. Make sure you go all the way back to your ear next time. And that's that little spot I said at the very end of my jaw that I do. I just draw a little line there, and I don't have a cleft chin, but I think it's cute to do that line there and blend it in, because it doesn't necessarily look like a cleft chin. It's just kind of a cute shadow there where your chin naturally curves. Make sure to blend that all the way back naturally. so you don't look like you have any stripes on your face. And it just looks like the natural curves, the gentle curvature of your face. Once I'm done with that first shade, I go back through with another brush, and typically I don't use the brush that I used in this video, just I had forgotten the brush that I was supposed to use. But I just use one of my fluffy eyeshadow brushes for this. And I go back through with that same Tartiste palette in the shade Sculpt, which is the next lightest shade, but this is a powder, and I like to do this one a little bit further out in width than the first shade, just because it kind of creates a more natural shadow appearance. Like I said, think about like painting and like how when you're creating a gradient, that's essentially what you're doing with this. Is you want the deepest part of the gradient to be that dark shade we started with, and the lightest part to be your highlight, essentially. So between the highlight and the deepest part, we're going to have another shade, and that's why we use this one here, the Sculpt. This brush really comes in handy here on my nose just because it's smaller and it fits my nose a little bit better than my typical contouring brush for my cheeks. So that was a little bit of a win there. There we go. Just going back through those same places and then just blending it out just a tad bit farther. Not by much, just enough. Just enough. See? And then I blend really, really good with my fluffy brush. And this is the same fluffy brush that BoxyCharm sent. I don't know the brand. It's, oh, there it is. It says Aesthetica. It is Aesthetica P12, and I like this for blending a lot. A lot of times I'll go in just above the apples of my cheeks in that sort of real light area, just to give my skin a bit of color. I'll go back in with that Sculpt shade and just almost create like a little base for my blush in that same place that I would put my blush, just to have a little bit more color to my face so I don't look as washed out. That's my little trick that I like to do, just a bit underneath my blush there, like a bronzer. And then I go back through and just blend really, really well to create that gradient. And the more you blend, the more you see that gentle fade of color there. It'll look more and more natural as you go. Now I'm going to go back through and do my highlighting with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. And now this is, I believe, about a shade lighter than my, what is it called? My foundation. Like I said, my foundation is in Fair Neutral, and this one is Porcelain Beige. And I find that this is a good color concealer for me because I can use it as a highlighter and a concealer. Now thinking of our gradient here, we're just going up on those high points and filling in the lightest shade of our gradient. The only slight difference is that we're also going to go just beneath the contour, which is not necessarily one of the highest points of our face, but it is It is where our face starts to rise again from the valley that is our cheekbones. We're starting to rise back up, and we want to show that dimension with that highlight. So I go back through underneath my contour, and I do highlight just beneath the contour there. Of course, highlight that Cupid's bow area. Love it. And then I always use the corners of my mouth and sometimes the corners of my nose. I also put a little concealer there just because I tend to get a bit of darkness around those areas. I think it's just because I smile a lot. I tend to notice that around my lines I get a little bit darker. Just as I was saying before, this is that underneath the contour highlight that I put in just so we can see where our face starts to rise again towards the chin. Just helps create that full peak and valley appearance. Now we're just going to go back through with the Beauty Blender and blend that in. I like to wet my Beauty Blender. For the longest time, I had no idea you were supposed to wet them, and I just would use it dry and bounce them on my face, which it worked, but I had no idea how much better it works when you wet them. So be sure to wet your sponge and squeeze it out just a bit. Just helps for everything to blend just a bit easier. Less fight. Fantastic. You can definitely see. Sorry about that last transition. It was a lot less smooth. I'm still learning. I apologize, guys. So going back to where we left off here, I'm just kind of, after blending, going back through and just making that gradient blend a little bit smoother by going back in with that sculpt shade again and blending. And going back through that Beauty Blender on the other side here. It'll be easier for you to see the full process on this side since there's no interruption with the transition there. I do apologize. I promise you guys, my next tutorial will not be this rough. I'm still learning this software too. I'm not a video editor. This is new to me. This is all new to me. I'm not great with technology. I'm good with my hands. I like to make things. I like makeup. I like playing music. Not great with the technology. Being delicate with that Beauty Blender on the tip of the nose and on the nose bone there so you don't over blend or mess up your contouring areas there. As you can see, I go back through again with some of that color, that second color there that I had chosen of our gradient. And blend again. Now, although my transitions are going to be pretty rough during this video, I promise next time I will leave more room for some transitions. Again, I get those dark spots right around my smile line, so I'm just going back through and lightening them up so they don't look as annoyingly prominent on my face. Turtle. And blend. Now, most of the hardest parts of this look are over, so it should be all easy from here if you struggled with any of that. Oh, come on, Sky. What is that, tongue number 4 in there? This is that step that I told you guys I go back through with a little bit of that same shade, like a bronzer, on those apples of my cheeks before I added my blush, just to add a little bit more color to my face. Now I'm going to go back in with my Note blush in the shade Desert Rose. I love this color because I consider myself a desert rose since I'm from Las Vegas. And then I blend. I really love the rosy cheek look, so I always give myself some rosy cheeks. It's cute for the baby doll look, and that's that look that we're going for in this one, is the baby doll. Youthful, wayfish sort of look. Ta-da! Look at that. We got our contouring, our highlighting, our blush all done. Now we're going to move on. Ooh, even more fun for highlight. This is one of my favorite products ever. This is my Cover FX glitter drops. These are, I just love these so much. I waited so long to get these in BoxyCharm, and I got them the month of my birthday. It was the coolest thing ever. I feel like they planned it, even though they probably didn't. But I love these drops, and I had been wanting to get them so bad, and I just hadn't had the money at Sephora. I just didn't have the extra money to spend on it. And then I got my glitter drops. So these are the glitter drops that they have in gold. I really want to get the iridescent ones as well. Those ones are so pretty. Come with a little dropper. Be very careful not to get it all over. It is all over that stem there. So just drop, drop, drop. Evenly spaced drops there. Now, if you leave them on your face for too long, they seem to be more concentrated in one area. So if you move a little bit quicker here, it seems a bit easier to blend them. That's why I speed up a bit here. Look at that highlight. Oh, so pretty. Just, there's nothing like this product. I've found so few products that create that dewy, gorgeous sparkle finish. Now, if you put even more of this on, you can put it under your makeup, almost like that backlighting primer. Million uses for this stuff, but I like it on top of my makeup. I love that pretty, shimmery, glittery look. And all the spots where we highlighted, so Cupid's bow. I always put a little on my lower lip too, underneath my my lower lip, my chin there. Center of the forehead, down the nose bone, tip of the nose. I find the tip of the nose looks super cute highlighted. And on the chin. I even spread it along my lips a bit too sometimes because I just love the way it looks. It looks beautiful when you put your lipstick over it because it just highlights that whole edge of your lip. Makes you glow. Now that is a really, really starkly glittery look. So what I like to do is put it on before I put on my translucent powder. So the translucent powder can kind of mattify that just a little tiny bit so it's not as almost stage glittery. So this is the, I believe, I don't know how to pronounce this. I think it's Chiate or Ciate, London. And it's the Extraordinary Translucent Powder. Now I just pour a little bit into that, into a little dish that I have. Just because it's easier to put it on the brush then, swirl it around. Now I do a combination of blending and stippling motions. I do a little stippling right there at the top, you'll see in a minute, because blending just doesn't quite mattify it enough. So there we go. Now I start to stipple a little bit and mattify that look just a bit more, and then blend. Fuzzy on my lip. Yuck. There we go. Just further mattifying and blending again. As you can see, stipple, stipple, stipple. Blendy, blendy, blendy. Instead of swirling the powder too much around the brush in the dish, I do kind of leave it heavy, almost like when you bake on the brush, so that way it mattifies that look. But look at that smooth finish that we have now, fully highlighted and contoured. I just love it. You can barely see your lines there, which I love. It's a full gradient. I like to wipe off the makeup off my birthmark. So I'm using my NYX Hydra Touch primer. I love this stuff. This stuff is fantastic as far as primers go as well. And I just put a little dot there so I can remove the makeup off the area. There we go. Now I see my birthmark. Nothing to be ashamed of. I love that thing. I had this gentleman come into my old work once and tell me that my birthmark made me memorable, and it never left my memory. I will always remember that, and it just touched me beyond belief. So for someone who used to get made fun of to this. I love this palette so much. That is my Ace Beauty Grandiose palette. Came in BoxyCharm again, but the pigments in this just absolutely gorgeous. So beautiful. I chose kind of a spring look this time. Mainly because I'm really excited for the winter to be over. Now that I've moved to Texas, it is really cold here, so I miss my Vegas warmth. I start with the shade Clove, using a fluffy brush. One of my smaller, the two fluffy brushes I have, or a few fluffy brushes I have. This was one sent to me by BoxyCharm as well. Either that or Ipsy, one of those two makeup services. So going in with that pretty peach color Clove, we do most of the crease, about halfway through the eyelid as well, in this Clove color, and in the corners, just past the corners a little bit, and just a little tiny above the crease, and again on on the lower lid on the bottom half of my eye as well. You'll see. Blending it just slightly past the crease onto the brow bone. And into the corner. On just the outside there. I love pinks and roses around blue eyes. There we go, nice and blended. Do the same on the other side. You can already see the color of blue pop a little bit more in my eyes here. I love it. Love colors. Love seeing what happens. With that yellow cardi I have on too. I love it. So like I said, over half the eyelid, don't forget to do that as well and not just the crease. The next shade I choose, I believe, is Rose. Yep. Rose. Using another fluffy brush, but this one is a tapered fluffy brush. So there's a little bit of a point to it. And I go in on just the very corners there with that rose, just as a color pop. Don't need much. Don't draw it out half as far. Or do I? Hold on, let me see there. Yeah, I do. I drag it to the halfway point again, but only on the lid this time and not into the crease. That's what it is, I see. And then a bit underneath again, just so that we have a hint of that rose on the underside of the eye as well. Just like that. Ugh, I feel like a spring blossom. I love these colors so much. It's getting me excited to garden in the spring. So much fun. I love this. It's just so fun. There we go. So now we got most of our pinks done. So this next part, I layer a couple shades for the second half of the eyelid. As you can see, I'm being indecisive here. Super annoying. I go in with the primrose color first. Now, you're going to have to use your best guess for the brush I'm using, because I'm no good with the names of brushes. Sorry. Now this one came out a bit darker. It was a little bit more of like a dark mustardy gold. So I decided that I was going to layer them after that. So I put the gold down on the second half of the eyelid, only on the second half of the eyelid. And then I go back in with another shade from the same palette. And it's called Jasmine. It's that beautiful champagne color there. And I just layer it. And I take a flat brush and layer it on top of that gold. Beautiful. Look at that. I love the color it comes out. Reminds me of my prom dress. And then I make sure to really put that jasmine heavy on the lower half of my lid, and in the corner, and on my brow bone as well as the highlight. Love that. Just pulls the whole thing together. Really blends that primrose color in. Love it. So pretty. So pretty. Love that palette so much. I'm going to be using it a lot. Again, blendy, blendy. Make it pretty. Love it. In the corners on the brow bone. And on the second half of my lower eyelid. So much fun. Brow bone. So now our eyeshadow look is just about done. I'm loving it. Now, if I recall, this is where I go in and I line my tear bags. This is something that I picked up from Japanese makeup. A tip I actually picked up from a wonderful young girl named Venus Angelic. I'm a huge fan of hers. And I go in with my contour brush, the one that I was using before, and the color shade. I want to use that real blendable liquid shade again, and I go right underneath the tear bag there just to create that youthful pop of the tear bag. It gives you that anime girl look. I don't know what it is. It's very youthful, doughy. I don't know, so cute to me. I just love it. So I always use this tip and go just beneath those tear bags there. Now, if you have trouble finding your tear bags, all you gotta do is slightly squint, and you'll see them pop naturally. It's difference between like under eye circles and like having bags under your eyes and your tear bags is everybody has tear bags. They're just that line of where your lower eyelid ends. Now I go back with a another brush there. It's hard to see. It's got a blunt edge and it's a round brush and it's a very tightly packed brush, and I just blend that contour in there just to create a nice smooth and natural appearance of those tear bags. And again, with the same girl gave me this next technique with my NYX flesh toned eyeliner. Okay, going back and just filling that tear bag in underneath, and the waterline with that flesh tone eyeliner. It gives you a bigger eye appearance, very cartoony, very doll-like, perfect for this baby doll makeup. And then I layer it over the eyeshadow that I just put on, just because I like to have that like hint of the pink underneath the eye still, but just so it looks more like faded and natural, but still bringing out that look of the tear bag is just, I just love it. It just brightens up the whole eye. And then I just go in with my finger and blend that a little bit and smudge it, just so it's less clumpy and more natural. Blendy blendy again with those with that contour underneath the tear bag there. As you can tell, I'm getting stoked because the look's coming together. I always get so excited when it comes out the way I want it to. Got my favorite little headband on there. My pops cleaned it up for me. It was all dirty with soot from the drum circle I went to, and we bleached it. Now I'm so happy because I get to wear it all the time. I'm just giving that blush. Again, it's the Note Blush in Desert Rose. Just a bit more of a pop because, like I said, I really love that rosy cheek look, especially for this baby doll style makeup. I always put just a tad bit of blush right at the top of my forehead there. Again, this is another tip I picked up from Venus. Big fan of hers. Just a little bit. And a little, oh, this is my own thing. I put a little bit of blush on the tip of my nose as well. I don't know, it just, like I said, it gives you that cute little baby doll kind of appearance. And I think it's just the cutest. And I feel like it works for me because I'm so small. So just a little extra blush on the nose and on the forehead, and just gives you that sweet doll-like appearance. Now I'm going in with a an eyeliner here, and it's a black eyeliner it's the Pretty Vulgar gel eyeliner. I absolutely love it. It's in Blacklist #1. And I go in with a very fine tip brush, and only from the point where my eyelashes begin to grow on the inner part of my eye do I start the line, and then I draw it out in a wing. As you'll see here. And I find that if you leave the corner of your eye open, it just kind of just opens your eye up and gives you this really cute, flirty, pretty, almost cat-like, but not quite, hard to explain, just very sweet, and I like it with this doll-like look. So I always leave the corners, the very inner corners of my eyeliner out. I'm so surprised I didn't put my hair in pigtails at the end of this. That's like my favorite look ever. I always put my hair in pigtails or pigtail buns. I always call them spoiler buns because when I was little there was this book series that I used to read called Pixie Tricks. I always wanted to be a fairy, still do. And I used to read this book series called Pixie Tricks, and spoiler, my favorite fairy in the whole series, who was just this mischief-causing fairy, she used to wear her hair up in those little buns, and so ever since I was Little, I've always worn those little buns. Just make sure your eyeliner is nice and straight and tapers in gently and delicately towards the inner part of your eye, so that the line will be a bit thinner towards the inner part of your eye than it will towards the end. It'll thicken out towards the wing.
As mayor of our fair city, I have an announcement to make. I thought we recalled her. But first, to say a few words about the Circle Theater, let me introduce a man who needs no introduction, Mr. Dino Spumoni.
You know, at first I was really sad that I swallowed my lower lip ring, but I think I kind of like my lips better without it. Random but true. While I finish my eyeliner here. Ooh, so delicate in that corner part right there. And don't bring it out to the corner. There we go. Just there. Perfect. Making sure it's even on both sides. Turtle! Winged eyeliner! So cute, I love it. How can one be craving spaghetti and mashed potatoes at the same time? I don't know, but I made those two things, so maybe I'll eat them both. Look at that, I'm so excited! Sadly, I realized I didn't have any eyelash glue. I was so heartbroken. That was the only thing that this look was missing was falsies. I love my falsies. And sadly, I didn't get to put them on with this one, but I have really, really long natural eyelashes anyway. You can kind of see right now. I'm really blonde, and so you can kind of see the blonde eyelashes sticking out right now, but I was so sad. I felt so bad that I didn't have my glue. I looked everywhere for it. I even paused the camera. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I ended up just wearing some mascara instead. I just double coated it. And I used, sorry, I had to grab that, Superhero It mascara. And it's Elastic Stretch Volumizing Mascara in super black, and I absolutely love it. I like it so much, and it really does do the job with elongating the eyelashes, even if you don't have falsies in. So, good stuff. Oh, before I do that, though, I go back through with my signature, my little star stampers. I have freckles by my eye right there that typically stick out when I don't have makeup on. So I always go back through and I put my star stampers over it because I feel like something is missing from my face when I don't have those on there. Sometimes I'll even go through and darken up that little freckle I have on the right side of my face where my dimple is, and I think at some point I go back through and darken up the one that I have over my lip. I just like my freckles. I miss them when they're gone. I don't have many of them. Gotta hold on to the ones that I have. Look at that snaggletooth. Dang, Sky. So sad about those. Look at how sad I am. Love those eyelashes. But fear not. Superhero It mascara saves the day. I'm gonna pull my bangies down now. I really need a bang trim. It's getting really bad. My hair has been growing so fast. I think it's because of the vitamins I'm on. I love it though. Makes me excited. Maybe I won't need to buy extensions.
I bet we could make him come over. Goose? Think? You did, Maria, I swear.
Love it. The bottle. Love everything about this mascara. The design of the bottle. The fucking design of the brush. I'm sorry. Excuse my French. Everything about this mascara is just quickly become one of my favorites. I would definitely use it again. Thank you again, BoxyCharm, for sending me such lovely products. Love it. Got to get back on your mailing list now that I've moved. Love this headband. It's just, I've missed wearing it so much. I miss my little blue one too. I'm gonna have to make a new one. Like I said, I double coat both sides of the top lashes and the bottom lashes as well. So just be really careful not to get it in your eyeshadow or on your under eye where your tear bags are. The first coat comes out a little bit wet, but no worries. That's why I go back through with my finger and kind of push the eyelashes up so they're not too heavy. I've got pretty long, thick eyelashes for a blonde, so sometimes I need that extra lift because blonde eyelashes are so fine that they fall easier. They're not as withstanding as darker eyelashes are, so I have to just kind of push them up a little bit so they don't fall. There we go. That second coat really brings it out. Really makes it easier. Gels them in place. Make sure to get them all the way to the corners. Some of your longest lashes are in the corner of your eyes, so don't miss the corner. Also, I don't use that palette at all in this. I was just using it as a mirror, but it just smells fantastic. I love that palette too. Too Faced White Peach. I love doing the bottom lashes for this look specifically because it really accentuates that baby doll look. If I had falsies for the bottom there, I would honestly wear them for this look. So cute. Look at that. Look at that mascara. Superhero mascara indeed. Makes your lashes fly. So this next one is a Hank and Henry color, which I've never heard before, but I love this liquid lip. It is fantastic. It is in Pedal Pusher. It's a bit more pink than it looks in the bottle, and I think that's why I like it so much. It's a little bit less of a red because I feel like so many reds are a bit overdone, and it's more of a dark mauve pink. I really like it. But it's still bold enough that it goes with this spring look. Makes you really feel like you're still part of the garden. Dragging it all the way to the edges of the lips, being real careful not to make a mess. Yeah, getting some of that excess off. Just press the lips together delicately. The corners are always the hardest part. Now, I always turn the brush for this part so I can get it all the way up in my Cupid's bow there, you know? So that way it fills the entire lip without going into the actual Cupid's bow. And I have a really, prominent natural Cupid's bow. I always have since I was little. So, I like to make sure that it stands out. Because again, if not, it's not my face. make sure you fill in that whole lip. Evening out areas. And then finally, I go over the last coat. I have to let it dry a little bit first, of course, but I go over this last color with Huda Beauty Lip Strobe. I don't know what this product was intended for when it came out, but I love it. I absolutely love it. It's in it's a metallic lip gloss in the shade Enchanting, and it's R54, and I absolutely adore it. It is like, it's like a holographic highlighter for your lips, and I'm all about the holographic look. I am so big on that. The other highlighter that I typically use all the time is Milk Makeup. That Milk Makeup in Supernova, the purple one. I absolutely adore that one. But not for this look. This look I use my glitter drops. Even though it would probably look really cool. See, I lift those eyelashes up so they stay up, because the mascara is a bit heavy for my blonde eyelashes, but man does it look good. Man does it do the job, so I can stand with a little finger curl. Sorry if I'm holding my face weird right now. I have something in my mouth. I realize now how dirty that sounded, but, you know, whatever. Go back through with your spoolie there, and I'm just kind of pulling out some clumps and separating the eyelashes so they're not like, you know, 90s spider lashes so much as some nice wispy lashes of this century. I do prefer having my eyelashes done and having the permanent eyelash extensions in, but it's just not practical for me right now. One last step. One last one. See, I'm definitely have something in my mouth. I'm holding medicine in there. TMI, sorry. Now I'm going back through with that Huda Beauty lip strobe here. Just being really careful not to get the pigment that's already on my lips on the brush as well. So that's why I'm dabbing. Apply that generously. I really love the effect it does to the color. It's like putting hollow highlighter on your lips. It's wonderful. Blendy blendy, just because I can't really rub my lips together without making a mess right now. Stupid medicine I'm on. I have to hold it in your mouth and let it dissolve. Look at that completed look. I love it. Super baby doll-esque. Super cute. Ooh, look at those lips. And there we go, guys. It's a completed look. I have just included a few little shots. This is a slow-mo, so you guys can really get a good look at all the details to the look. Love the way that eyeshadow look turned out. Very subtle, very pretty, and with a little pink pop. I look cross-eyed here. Could I have chosen a slower setting? This would be the final product here. I really like this last shot as well because you can kind of see how the light really dances off that sparkle we have in there. Those glitter drops really work as a fantastic highlighter. They really catch the light, so look at that. I just love it. It looks like a flower plucked from the garden. Alright guys, well I had a lot of fun doing this with you. Feel free to subscribe, add, send me messages, do whatever you want. It's had a lot of fun. You have a fantastic evening. Once again, I'm your friend Skylar. Have a good one.